You know, speaking of handlers, you know, this is a tough race to be a handler. It's a tougher race to be a driver. But I was talking to Erin Altimus, and she and their handling crew, they got up to Grand Portage, and they were going to get a room, and they were on the second floor, and they were tired, and they were waiting for Matt, and they all got into the elevator, and they were talking for a little bit, and then there was dead silence. And this is a true story, and all of a sudden one of them said, "Are we ever going to go up?" And the other one looked at Aaron, "Did you hit the button?" She said they were sitting in the elevator for an awkwardly long part of time. But thanks again to all the handlers for everything that you do. At this time, I would like to introduce Dr. Phillips, and he's going to present the Best Cared Dog Team Award. So, Greg, come on forward.
Thanks, Ward. Before I talk about the award, I speak for my vet team when I say it's a privilege to work with all of you, mushers, handlers, race volunteers, the judges, the race marshal, the people the sponsor lady, Monica, anybody that touches the vet team in terms of helping us with logistics, where to stay, supplies, cars, all of that. There's so many moving parts that go along with it. I just want to say thank you for all of that. This is always kind of an odd award. It's always hard because all of you do your best to take care of your dogs, and so just by the fact that you're here means that there's been a lot of care. And so this is always an odd, kind of awkward award. All of you should be given a pat on the back. Over the last few years, things that we have to treat and deal with have changed, and we are giving far less fluids than we ever had in the last. This is my 9th bear race. We used to give a lot more fluids. We used to see a lot more injured dogs. We've seen a lot less vomiting and pneumonia things that we have to treat, and it just, to me, that's awesome, because that means that there's education that's going on, and there's learning, and so in the end result is that the dogs benefit from it, and when the dogs benefit from it, the race benefits from it. I always tell people when I tell them I'm a veterinarian for the bear race that I'd love to just sit around with my hands in my pockets and just take them out to wave as the ushers go by and eat a big pancake up at Trail Center. We'd really rather not work, and just because of the way that you folks are taking care of your dogs, all the way from the training to the management on the trail, there's less for us to do, and so that's huge. So, congratulations on that. You should all get a pat on the back. I also want to thank you for your cooperation, handlers and mushers. All the way from the pre-race checks to the finish line. We have to kind of scoop in and look at dogs and watch your dogs, and you have to help us with that. And everybody's been real cooperative, and that's huge. It makes everybody's life easier, and it allows things to be more efficient, and it allows, and the end result is your dogs benefit from it, and so that's huge too. We had a long discussion about kind of the Vet's Choice Best Kept Team. And we mulled a lot of things over, and finally came up with a musher that we thought was deserving, although you're all deserving. But we have to pick somebody. And this particular musher, the reason that this musher is going to get this award is because of improvement. There was a big swing from one year to the next year. Last year, things weren't going so well in terms of dog care and how things went on the race for that particular musher and for those particular dogs. This year, it was almost a 180, and the dogs looked great at each of the checkpoints. The energy and their attention to their musher, the way they ate, the way they ran, and in the end result is that Musher won the race. So the award goes to Ryan Green.
Trying to think of something to say. It's very, very special to win this award. I was very proud of my dogs, and I couldn't have done it without my awesome handling team. You know, Matt Rossi and my wife Erin, Cody and Megan, Pearlie, and John Nunez that helped get the team ready for this race, and it was really proud to win this award. And my handling crew, they did a lot of great dog care, keeping them happy, and we did improve a lot since last year. We learned a lot, and we trained hard. We listened to a lot of good advice, and I gotta say thanks to Trapper Dan Bergeson for all the advice on how to improve and how to run the race and how to train for it, and my father-in-law Matt as well. Thank you both for all the advice, and I really appreciate it, and I'm really glad I listened to you guys. It really paid off. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ryan. If you folks noticed, we have hopefully a table of future mushers over here. They're from the Secret Forest Play School, so welcome very much. I was warned I better change my routine with all the young people. I do also want to recognize a few of the mushers that were out on the course this year that were participants that did not make it all the way to the finish line. And you know, this is a very tough race. And some of those of you who were here in the 90s before Doug Swingley started winning Iditarod, but he was at one of our banquets. And he looked to the audience and he said that the Bear Grease is tougher than Iditarod. And you know, Nate had said the same to me after he came back from his first Iditarod. So those of you who didn't make it to the finish line, it's a tough race, and a lot of people know that. So I'm glad you were here at the race, Kevin and Blair, Matt, and Keith. You guys gave it your best, and thanks for coming out to the race. At this time, we are going to award the Dan Zappa Sportsmanship Award, and this is voted on by the mushers. And Dan Zappa was a longtime volunteer. He was a race judge. He had dogs. Dan was a great friend of the Bear Grease, and he died in a tragic plane crash. So at this time, I'd like to call up Erin, and she's going to present this award of the Dan Zappa Memorial Sportsmanship Award.
You're not going to bring the baby?
She steals the show.
I have a hard enough time speaking without the baby up here. Being musher rep this year has been a really good experience. I think until you're part of seeing what the board does throughout the year, you can't imagine how much work there is. There's so many events besides just the race itself. You know, a few leading up to it, the cub run, the cutest puppy contest. They did the beer grease thing, the beer and bacon thing. I mean, it's just so many events, and the same folks on the board step up for every single event, and it was a lot. So I'm really impressed. So the mushers get to vote on the sportsmen, and this year is a little bit unconventional. There are a few names that were brought up that weren't mushers, and I guess this goes to show that you know, both sides of the runners, can you say that, are pretty hard. And I've been to both sides. Handling for this race is exhausting. Mushing this race is exhausting. So the person that was voted on is a handler. See, I didn't even mush and I'm tired. We weren't even out there Tuesday And she was doing it alone, which is unbelievable. And sorry. So our person is Julie, and besides helping her mushers through the race alone, she was also stepping up to help other mushers. And Blake Frecking had an injury, and it was looking like it was going to get worse, and Julie helped tape up his leg so that he could keep going and finish the race. So, I mean, it's really impressive, and she went above and beyond, and that's who the mushers voted for. Wow.
Even thinking about that, it's just like, wow, that's amazing. Well, thank you. That's a really tough one. Handling with another team on the truck. I have like 8 dogs more in the truck. But that's, I think I could give that at everybody, because I think every team helped me, every mushers helped me. Everybody do a little thing and they helped me so much. And especially the Ward Warden crew. He gave me a driver for 3 rides. He saved my life. I was just like, oh my God, at the casino I'm crying. I'm just, what I'm supposed to do? I don't know where I'm going. Where's that checkpoint? He tried to give me the address and just, I don't understand nothing. And I said, give me a driver. So he gave me a driver. And oh man, I sleep. And that's been wonderful. So thank you to everybody. Everybody helped me. So nice person, volunteer, take off my straw, and just like, wow, that's amazing. So thank you.
You know, the truth is, Julie, I got one of our handlers to drive your vehicle because I've followed you before, and I don't think you really have a driver's license.
I said to her, give you a driver because you're stuck at the back of me and you just piss off after me.
She doesn't like to drive at night. She doesn't like to drive in the United States. She said, I really don't like to drive. She said, I hate to drive a dog team even. So, at this time, I would like to introduce our race marshal, Stan Passanani, and he would like to present our Red Lantern Award.
Oh, this is great. So where's our Red Lantern driver? Oh. So MJ said, I think we're missing something, but we did find it. But before we found it, I said, I think we could come up with something with Blake. Body butter. You know, his face is still a little red from being out on the trail, but I think this would be appropriate. But since we found the Red Lantern for our Red Lantern driver, let's give our man here this great award and his great dog. You were there at the end. He does have a fabulous looking dog team. I did watch him try to get his dog team going, and the dog started picking him up. He's sleeping, he's picking him up, he's sleeping. And I said, what is going on? As soon as the dog got to line, I'd never seen a dog holler so much. So, congratulations. Good job.
Mr.
Fine,
Keypart, will you
fine.
come up here and hand out the checks for our mushers and the money this year? Blake, I was hoping you would stand up, say a few words, because you like to talk so much, and then sit down and come back. But, you know, Blake at the finish line, a friend of mine saw Blake's dog team, and he said, those dogs look a little different from everyone else's. And it was somebody who doesn't really know a whole lot about dog racing, and I said, well, Blake and Jen have Siberians. And what a lot of people don't know, excuse me, is they don't have just the best Siberian team in Minnesota. They have the best Siberian team in the country, if not the world. It is a phenomenal. And so with that, Blake Frecking in 6th place has a total of $1,145.33.
Well, thank you. First off, I have to thank my handlers that are here. Sarah, and you guys did a great job. Really appreciate it. Our other handlers that weren't able to make it here, Matt, Jesse, Kaylin, everybody did a great job and helped me immensely. So, vet crew, thank you very much. You guys are amazing. I did have that injury that was discussed earlier. It was an Achilles strain. It really set me back up here. Like, it really bothered me. They did a great job taking care of him, and so thankful. Thanks so much. All you volunteers, make this race work. Appreciate it. Couldn't do it without you. That's all I got. Thank you very much.
Good job, Blake. And you know, one thing that we've been doing the last few years at the Bear Grease is all the finishers. There's a finishers pool, so any finisher who finishes the race not in the money gets a little extra. And I think this year's portion of that was another $300 or something like that. So that's that was a little nice to see. In 5th place this year is Nathan Schroeder, and you know, Nathan, his dad was out on the trail, and Carmen and his handling crew, and I saw Vern out there, and Vern said, well, I'm just not handling, I'm kind of driving the truck. And if those of you guys remember from last year, we kind of had a competition of turning a team in the chute at Finland on the downbound lane, and all of a sudden we're doing it again this year as Clean and Nate are coming in, and all of a sudden that's when Vern decided to handle for his 1 minute glory. The Schroeder team beat us last year, and I had to buy Vern beer, so anyhow, Nate, come on up. Nate's award this year is $1,633.33.
There was a little boy in Grand Portage that missed Nathan last year. And Nathan is his biggest, he's the fan, man. Nathan accepted a gift from him, and he got a photo op with a little boy from Grand Portage. So, thank you.
Well, I'd like to thank all the volunteers, the vets, the board. It's a great race. I've always enjoyed it, loved it, and think about it all the time. My handling crew, Jake, Nick, and apparently I have the cutest handler on site, Stan says. But, and it's not my girlfriend. And thanks, Carmen. I love you. Anyhow.
Good job, Nate. Congratulations. In 4th place, let's see, what is this name here? Oh, there it is. Colleen Wallen with $2,283.33.
I wrote the check out, so if it's wrong,
Oh, thank you.
We're made out to you.
Yeah, it's made out to Ward. Oh, congratulations, Ryan and Aaron. Way to go. And the Rossi crew, too. It's fun to see. I want to thank the board for everything you've done and to have the race happen. Everything from soup to nuts out there. It's a great race. I have a bacon tent story to tell on the way out. So brace yourself, Nathan. I was in the tent and sitting next to Brian Reddington, and Nate comes in, and Blake was in there, Matt Schmidt was in there, and I wasn't really saying much, and Matt says, man, I'm so tired, I'm just beat. And Ryan Reddington says, well, it's a race, you should be tired. And he says, no, I was up last night, the baby, gave her a bottle and changed her diaper and was taking care of her, and
And we're all just kind of sitting there, and Nate Schroeder speaks up and he goes, "Don't you got a wife to take care of?"
Throw it right under the bus.
And I just,
I heard that.
and Ryan Reddington looked at me, and I looked at Ryan, and Matt Schmidt, you know, God, Matt, your smile is, you're unflappable in there. Matt's like, "Nathan, it's 2018. And Matt goes, "Colleen, I bet Ford changed diapers in the middle of the night for Ian and Arrow." And I go, "Yeah, he did, you know." And I said, "And now I change Ward's diapers." About 4 years ago, we did a breeding. We bred a dog to one of Nathan's males, our female, who was out of Dolphin, out of one of your litters. And Nathan came over. We let the puppies run around. We were to split the litter, and I had first pick. I had first and third pick. He was picking, and the last female that I picked, she had a bad eye. She didn't have tears, and she got floppy eye all the time, and I felt really bad about it. So that was my pick, my last pick, because she had a bad eye, and I thought, well, Nathan doesn't want to get stuck with a dog with a bad eye. And that dog with the bad eye is what made this race happen. So she was just amazing. Her name's Happy. Her brother Silas finished too, the other pick that I picked. They're good dogs. It was a great breeding. I had conversation where I talk about dogs and who we're going to run and who we're not going to run. And he said to me 2 months ago, "I'm pretty sure Freeze is out." Freeze has been our go-to leader for years. And we decided, I said, I'm not going to leave the starting line without her. I decided I'm not going to run her in lead. I'll run her in the team. She doesn't have to lead. I won't make her do that. And Freeze finished the race in lead. She finished her 7th bear race in lead. And so she now, when I filled all the dogs' houses with fresh straw last night, I told her, "You don't have to do this anymore," but she did it. So thanks to all the mushers. It's just fun to be out there with everybody. And thanks for everybody that puts this race on.
I purposely didn't say anything about that particular musher until I heard what she might have said about me. And you folks can read between the lines on this one, but whenever we're racing, we pretty much always say she's never racing until she drops the F-bomb. And anyhow, there we were in Skyport on the way down, and she said, "Do we have any bear fat?" And I said, "No, we don't have any bear fat." And she said, "Fudge." Not really. And the handling crew just started cheering. They're going, "Yes, she's racing." In third place, from about 3 or 4 hours north of Montreal, is Denny Tremblay. And when Denny first started racing down in this area, he and Julie had stayed at our house. He didn't really know any English at all. And Julie was his interpreter. And when Denny first came into the States, all he would ever say, gassing up or any restaurant, he would say, "Yes, yes, no." And Denny has become very good in his English. And we welcome you. We're glad you keep coming back. So Denny Tremblay, third place, $2,933.33.
We love our Canadian friends. We really do.
Oh. Paper. The first thing this morning is my wife, my girlfriend. I don't know this word in English. Or thank you, Julie. I realized my dream the last 9 years because she's come in my life the last 9 years ago. I suppose she not come home 9 years ago. Maybe I'm not here now because she's the best. She's the best. She worked for me. she like dogs, and she play with the dogs all summer. She have no social life because I stay in the wood and the forest, not close to the town. The first town is 2 hours to my home. She said every time, I have no social life. But thank you, Julie. Julie and I would like to thank everyone helped us during the race. Because it will never have been possible to finish that race alone, especially Mike, the handler to Ward, drive my truck during the race after Grand Portage for Julie. Thank you, everybody. I appreciated that help, because I remember last year after the finish line, Julie told me about the Aaron Reddington running our race, no handler, and she said, "You never come here with no handler." I said, "Never, Julie, never. I never come here just with you." The year after, she running the race, no handler. Maybe the last time.
I hope.
But thank you to all the vet team. It's great job, guys and girls, and all on the race. Thank you to the board. Another year, great race. The volunteer, all crossing road, you have a people, and the checkpoint or anywhere you have people for help, the musher, or you know what I mean. Appreciate that situation, you know. Thank you, and see you next time.
Yes, no.
Yes.
We know.
We know. That's when I'm in Quebec.
Yeah.
If you've noticed, there's really great camaraderie amongst the mushers out there. And you know, the last month, Denny's actually been staying up with Ryan Anderson, and we are such a great group of folks out there. We're great friends. We enjoy the competition, but that really makes it all the better. Our next musher, Ryan Anderson. You know, I talked to Ryan. I called him about 3 weeks before the race, and I said, "How's it going, Ryan?" And he said, "I am so stressed." He goes, "I'm trying to train a dog team, and my wife is pregnant, and we're going for an ultrasound. I just can't believe it." And he's telling me this about stress, and you haven't even had children yet. Will you be at the Finland checkpoint with a milk bottle next year like Matt was? I don't think so. In second place from Ray, Minnesota, Ryan Anderson, $3,908.
Well, the stressful part is the fact that the wife's pregnant, and I live in northern Minnesota, and she lives in the cities, and we're trying to build a home so that we can actually live together. So that's the stressful part. When Ward had kids, they actually had a house and lived together. So, yeah, no, there's been a lot of house planning and just future life stuff that's going to be happening, as well as training dogs this year. But I'd like to congratulate Ryan. That was an awesome showing. I kind of figured you were going to win this year, and yeah, you showed us how to do it, so congratulations. The vets, the board, another great race. My handling crew, my sister's ridden her, I don't know how many times she's handled for me. She knows where everything is, does everything, I don't say anything. So anyway, thanks everyone.
Nice job, Ryan. Congratulations. You know, this year's champion, it's really pretty interesting. A fellow who has got a very famous name. I think everybody in the room knows dog mushing and the name Reddington. And you know, Ryan was actually sitting in the bacon tent, and there are a few people in there. And one of the older ladies looked at Ryan and Colleen and said, "Are you guys mushers?" And they go, yeah. And Ryan said, well, I'm sitting next to the local famous Colleen Wallen, and my name is Ryan. And that's how humble a guy he is. You know, he was just saying, I'm just Ryan. You know, he was mushing before birth. But Ryan had a heck of a dog team this year. If you look at some of the times on his leg from Finland to Sawbill upbound, he did it in 2:48. On his leg from Sawbill downbound, after only 2 hours of rest, he did it in 2:58. That's amazing. That's amazing. It's a heck of a dog team he has. At one point, I did hear Ryan say he was a little embarrassed of his team out on a lake, and I said, really? You're embarrassed of your dog team? Ryan Reddington, congratulations. You ran a great race. $5,695.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, bring the little cub runner up there.
Yeah. Ward, I was embarrassed with how the leaders didn't want to. They wanted to go right on down Devil Track there on the lake there, not stay on the trail. So that was the only part that I was a little embarrassed on that. But they were really on fire the whole race, and it was really very impressive, and to be honored to be on the back of that team. They got a lot of heart, and they ate at every checkpoint. They were fantastic, and they were just happy throughout the whole race, and they wanted to run fast. And it was hard to hold them back that first 100 miles, and it really well paid off. But I really want to thank my handling team again. They were fantastic. It was so much fun to be to share the race with everyone, and all the volunteers were awesome. The board was they put on a really great race. We really look forward to being back to this race again. And the vet team, there's a lot of, they don't get much sleep either, because they're handling for, there's 50 teams that they were checking dogs in and throughout the race with the 150 and as well as the rec race as well. And there was a lot of lack of sleep in this race for everyone, but everyone was so cheerful and happy. And, but we're not going to slow down. A lot of people telling us to slow down, but with the group of dogs that we got back home, it's a bright future for our kennel. And I'd like to thank our sponsors: Red Paw Dog Food, Alaska X, dogbooties.com, and there's many other sponsors as well. And thank you guys. And my daughter Eve here, she came in second in the cub run, and and, I know next year she's gonna want some of those dogs. A big thanks to my wife Erin that letting me do the hard work training and to put more miles on the team this year. And it was a lot of hard work, but it really paid off. And I know I'm probably forgetting a lot of people, but thank you all to all involved, and we really had a great time. And this race here, we've ran a lot of races before, and this is one of my favorites. You know, there's so many checkpoints, especially Sawbill. It's so memorable. It's a remote checkpoint, and it's put up wall tents there for us. And the Bacon Lady, the Cat family, I was lucky enough to bring some back with me to enjoy from Sawbill back to the finish. And I got to say thank you to them as well. But thank you guys, and we'll see you next year.
Yep, don't forget your prizes.
Thank you.
Good job. And Eve is still wearing her Cub Run medal.
Well, good job, Ryan. Congratulations. On behalf of the Board of Directors, I want to thank everyone for all your involvement in this race. It takes so many people to put on such a great event. To the mushers and the handlers, good job. And I think the 34th running of the John Bergery Sled Dog Marathon was a great success.